Hello and welcome to today's episode of Boardroom Beats. I'm your host, Amreen Mulla, the Associate Editor at CXO XPERTS, and today we are joined by Mr. Vijay Anand, the Senior Vice President of Global IT and Information Security at Coro Health. Vijay brings over 22 years of experience across diverse sectors, including healthcare, IT, ITES, and manufacturing. So, today we'll delve into the critical topic of building a resilient IT infrastructure that can withstand the evolving landscape of cyber threats. Vijay, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Amrit, and we're very happy to be part of the CXO Experts Boardroom talk, and happy to share my insights on the various topics data resilience and give my inputs. Thank you so much.
Great. So let's start right at the foundation. So, in your extensive experience, what are considered the foundational elements for building a resilient IT infrastructure that can withstand modern cyber threats?
Yeah. See, one of the basic foundation is two concepts. One is CIA, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data. So, end of the day, it's all about data, spread across the organization. It can, when you say data, when you say information, that can be in multiple forms. That can be in physical form. It can be in software form. It can be in terms of data form. So, all these are very important types of data which is needed for the functioning of an establishment. So all your IT infrastructure is built around this data availability, data integrity, and data confidentiality. So there is no one shirt size fits all. So every organization is different, every industry vertical is different. So but the underlying foundation is the same. So CIA is very important, and second is the PDCA, the plan, do, act, and do the continuous improvement. So every organization, there is no fixed router, there is no fixed technology that can be going for a long run. Technology keeps changing every 6 months to 8 months. So the organization needs to adapt. So the foundation is to do plan, do, act, and do a continuous improvement. So continuous improvement is a key word here. So the continuous improvement is very important for the organization to move forward. So those would be the two bases.
Mhm. Okay, that's quite a profound point. It really highlights the complexity of modern cybersecurity here.
Yeah.
So, building on that, how do we ensure these strategies are continuously adaptable to evolving threats?
Okay, so as I told you, there is not one single strategy what we have to follow. So there are multiple strategy points. So one strategy is the So for example, I can give you examples, or I can give you what we follow as an organization. So we are a US healthcare organization. We are very high on security and compliance. We follow nothing less than 6 to 7 standards and policies and guidelines like your HIPAA, SOC Type 1, Type 2, ISO 27001, ITRUST, CCPA, NIST, COVID. So we have a very complex which is not for a manufacturing organization, or it's not for an e-commerce organization. So ours is more of a complex stuff. So what we do is we do continuous evaluation. So every year, whatever product we have, we start re-evaluating the product at the ninth month, so that when the renewal comes at the 12th month, we'll be ready to know if that product is already up to the market standards. Does it cater to our needs? Does it take us to the next year? We don't even look at a 2 year or a 3 year plan. We clearly look at just a 12 months period, see how that tool is going to help us in terms of cybersecurity, whether it's going to be your endpoint or your perimeter security or your end user security or your DLP or your cloud infrastructure security. So we constantly keep evaluating. So in these desperate times, where the hacking industry itself is a full blown industry, where their only job is to do the hacking, to infiltrate us and steal our data. Our job is to make sure we got the best of the tools to make sure the perimeter is done, and with constant audits. The other point is the auditing. A lot of firms have not considered auditing as a major point. So auditing is a very important point, because yes, we might have deployed a lot of tools, but are we using it properly? Is the talent up to the mark? Do we need to reskill talent? So that can be done only by the way of auditing, both internal and external.
Mhm. So you've laid out a clear framework here for disaster recovery at least. So pivoting slightly and talking more about, continuity, in terms of business continuity, what strategies do you find most effective in different industry sectors?
Yeah. So when you say business continuity, it's categorized as warm, hot, and cold. So it depends on how your business needs to, So whether what is the impact of your business? That's why they do the BIA, the business impact assessment, or the business impact analysis. And based on that analysis, uh, based on your industry, we need to identify what is your kind of resilient strategy that you need to build in. So how is your business continuity is going to have? So whether in case of any major disruptions like your natural calamities like flood or something, do you need to move your people out to another location? Or so earlier, like, we used to have warm sites, which means we used to build 50% of the capacity. Let's say I have 1,000 seater here, so I'll build a 500 seater in my other location, so that in case there is a natural calamity or an riots or war or any kind of other disruptions, we move these people to those places. Okay, but then what we have done is now after COVID, work from home has become a norm. So now what we have done is we have built in the complete. We have changed our strategy. So we don't do PCP anymore. We do the only PCP we do is work from home. So let's say there is a fiber cut, the entire internet is down. We have provided laptops to all the employees. We ask them to just leave home, go back home and work today, because everybody has internet at home, whether it's through your mobiles or broadband or whatever. So that way, the infrastructure is also. If you see, 10 years back, we didn't have that infrastructure, but today everybody has that infrastructure.
Okay, that is quite insightful, especially the emphasis on proactive measures and the implement of work from home as an aspect of infrastructure as well. So that is great. So, given these advancements, how does advanced analytics and AI come into play in enhancing these security measures further?
So far, everybody was been working on the factual data. So whatever data we had, so we had to work on the data manually. We had to look into the logs. We need to look at do look at the false positives. We have to look at all those kind of data. But today, with the onset of AI and better automation tools, I rather would say AI, would say automation, because we are ready to get on the AI journey. So right now we are all embarking on the automation tools like your RPA, your machine learning, and all the NLP and all that stuff. So those help us in giving us a predictable data. So, and most of the analytical data. So from the factual data we have moved to a predictable data to next is the gen AI would be the analytical data. So this data helps us to give us more insights. Still manual intervention is needed, but probably the percentage has increased. Earlier it used to be 10-15%, now it has gone to 50-60%. And with the onset of AI, probably that might go to 85%, where like the mission would be more the mission would be more intelligent enough to give us alerts. And it would also ease the what to say, the cybersecurity expert to look into much factual data.
Mhm. So I see the integration of technology also drives the core of these strategies. So switching
Yeah.
gears a bit, could you discuss the role of leadership in fostering cybersecurity focused culture within organizations?
Yeah. So leadership is very important. When you say leadership, it's just not managing a team, but everybody has to be on the same plane. So whether it's the team has to be segregated in such a way, everybody has to have an individual skill set and everybody has to be trained. So one of the major, even though you deploy AI, unless until you train the people, you train the engine, it is not going to work out. So basically, even if the engine, so for example, I would have deployed the best of the tools on AI, it would give us a lot of data. But if the engineer is not able to interpret it, if the team is not able to interpret it, then that's going to be a problem. So one of the key facts of the leadership is to understand what is a global trend. We need to understand how the tools are working, and how it is giving us the predictable analytical data to make sure we make wise decisions on that. So end of the day, leadership is all about vision, strategy, and decision making. So you need to be very clear. Unless and until I know what is it about, I cannot make any strong decisions on that front. So the leadership has to be on the training front firsthand to even get into that area.
Okay, so on that note, like, what are some significant challenges that come with implementing, various advanced technologies in, day-to-day tasks?
Yeah. So one of the major challenges, I would again go over 10 years back. At that time, there were very less of startup companies. There were like five, six OEMs. Like for example, if you ask me, hey, what are the five top companies today? 10 years back, you would say HCL, you will say IBM, you will say Oracle. But today, there are so much of startup firms which have surpassed these firms also. And the other challenge is every other day there is a new DLP tool. Every other day there is a new SIM tool. Every other day there is a new antivirus tool. So the days are gone when people used to have the I even forgot those names. Trend Micro. Then there used to be Norman. I just forgot all those names. They used to be big guys at those time, but today they are nowhere relevant in the market. So today, Sentinel One, CrowdStrike, Sekion, Sophos, and all these people have come in the last 5 years, and they've done that market. So the challenge is every other day there is a new tool which is in the market which is giving you a good visibility there, rather than the older tool. And again, the challenge of deploying. So for example, my organization has close to 15,000 people globally. And we find another, by the time you buy a tool, you deploy it, you train your people, it takes 3 months. But by the time, it's like your iPhone. I would give a classic example if people want to relate to that front. Your iPhone, so every year iPhone releases a new model in September. So by the time you buy the phone, wait in the queue, get it, and and you even start to learn about it, then the new model comes. And
Yeah.
worse with Samsung, they release every new model in 6 months for
Mm-hmm.
the competition. So by the time you buy a phone, you'll find something and new has come out in 6 months. Just because it has come out, you can't simply switch over to that. So similar goes with these kind of tools also. So if even if you see on the EDR platform, so if you see initially it was EDR, then it was XDR, then it was in today it is MDR. So the changes are happening so fast that the leadership has to take a conscious decision if that particular technology or tool or that function is good for the organization, and how it will give you a better insights. So today there is nothing called ROI. It's not earlier we used to buy some capex, we used to say, hey, after 3 years this will give us a better ROI, after 4 years it will give us a better ROI. But today it's not like that. Today it's a question of adoption, market competition, cutting edge. How you are ahead of the competition is very important.
It's clear that adapting and staying ahead of cyber threats requires constant vigilance and innovation as well.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, how important do you think it is to regularly test and update disaster recovery and business continuity plans?
So basically it's called TVR.
Mm-hmm.
Threats, viruses, and your resilience. So, and risk management. So risk management is very important. So risk management, if you see, you cannot do 100%. You can do only up to 90% or something, and the 10% you need to cover by insurance. You need to have very good insurance policy today. So in spite of so we do internal IT compliance, we do external IT compliance, we do internal audits, we do external audits, we have all the big fives auditing us. In spite of all that, still we are vulnerable. So I cannot say nobody in this world, when companies like NASA and Microsoft are getting hacked, who are we? So they are the best of the minds in the world, but still they get hacked, right? So still coming to the point, you need to have a good insurance policy. At the same time, constant evaluation is very important. So we have adopted continuous improvement tools or continuous assessment tools, rather than going on a quarterly basis or on half yearly basis. So still a lot of companies do a yearly audit. Most of the companies do a half-yearly audit, and there are very few companies, specifically in healthcare, which does a quarterly audit. In fact, we have surpassed that and we have gone for a continuous audit, which means we have deployed tools which continuously monitor the endpoints for any kind of vulnerabilities, and they patch it immediately. Or if there is a problem, that gets isolated.
Mm-hmm. So
So
your
each company needs to choose a strategy.
Okay. So your passion for leveraging and cutting edge technology really shines through, and it is quite contagious as well. So looking towards the future, what emerging trends or innovations do you think will transform the landscape of IT security?
See, the Gen AI is a new buzzword. So until a couple of years back, it was digital transformation. Now nobody talks about digital transformation. Everybody now talks about Gen AI. Then before that, it was hyperscaling. It was then before that, it was cloud. So today, people have forgotten those terminologies. Now everybody talks about Gen AI. How it's being used to better your infrastructure. That's a good part. The bad part is the hackers. the bad actors also use the same Gen AI technologies to do better hacking technologies. They pretty much know, like, the large enterprises are fully covered in terms of perimeter security, in terms of end user security, but they are more attacking on the personal side, like, where they attack your phones, they do your FedEx calls, your all those scam calls that comes to you. So they're also on the toes, and, like, their full job is to, like, exploit you. Their job is to only hack you, ransomware protection and everything. So you need to have very fair, like, strategy to encompass all these stuff to uh, so you need to have a strong, if you don't have an internal SOC team, then probably you need to like, employ an outside SOC team. So monitoring, auditing, these are two very important areas that you need to concentrate.
Mhm. So, Vijay, your insights today have been incredibly enlightening and invaluable. Thank you for sharing your expertise and, helping us understand the critical components of building a resilient IT infrastructure. Your deep knowledge and practical advice surely has inspired not just me, but also our audience, and has also provided them with actionable strategies to enhance their own cybersecurity measures. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Amri. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
So, to our viewers, thank you for tuning in. We hope you found this discussion as informative as we did. Keep watching for more insights on latest trends and challenges in IT and cybersecurity. This is Amreen Mulla signing off.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.